I won't be here Saturday night, Mr. Kong. I have plans. The crystal glass in Jae-won Kang's hand cracked. Not shattered, just a hairline fracture that spiderwebbed across the surface, mirroring the fracture in his legendary composure. Blood beaded where a shard had bitten into his palm, but he didn't feel it. All he could feel was the roaring in his ears as he watched Amara Bennett calmly fold his Egyptian cotton shirts in the penthouse laundry room, her dark hands moving with practiced efficiency, completely unaware that she just detonated a bomb in the chest of Seoul's most dangerous man. Plans? His voice came out lethal. Quiet. The tone that made grown men confess to crimes they hadn't committed. What kind of plans? She didn't even look up. The personal kind, sir. For 2 years, she'd been invisible. The perfect ghost who cleaned his blood-stained suits without flinching, who restocked his bourbon without asking questions, who moved through his world of violence and power as if it were ordinary. For 2 years, Jae-won had told himself she was just the help. Nothing more. He'd been lying to himself for 729 days.
Wait.
Before we go any further, let's be honest about something. You're already invested. That opening scene? It made your heart race. You need to know why a billionaire mafia boss is cracking glasses over his mate having a date. But here's the brutal truth. If you don't subscribe right now, you're going to forget. You'll watch this whole story, feel everything I'm about to make you feel, and then you'll scroll away. And 3 weeks from now, when I drop a story about forbidden love that's even more devastating than this one, it won't reach you. Because the algorithm doesn't reward loyalty to strangers. So prove you're not a stranger. 2 seconds.
Hit subscribe.
Because if a man can shatter his legendary composure over a woman, you can click one button for stories that make you feel this alive. The Kong penthouse occupied the entire 63rd floor of Seoul's most exclusive building, a fortress of marble, bulletproof glass, and secrets that could topple governments. Amara Bennett had been cleaning those secrets for exactly 2 years, 3 months, and 14 days. She'd learned the rules quickly. Never speak unless spoken to. Never ask about the bloodstains. Never, ever look Jae-won Kong directly in the eyes. Amara had never been good at following rules. Your 9 p.m. appointment canceled, she said, spraying cleaning solution on the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Han River. The one who brought the briefcase last week. His associate called. Said he'd encountered complications. Jae-won looked up from the shipping manifest spread across his desk. Complications? He's in the hospital. Broken legs, punctured lung. Apparently, he fell down some stairs. How unfortunate. Jae-won's voice was silk over steel. Stairs can be dangerous. They both knew he hadn't fallen. He was watching her now. She could feel his gaze like a physical touch, tracking her movements across the room. Jae-won Kong was beautiful in the way a blade was beautiful, all sharp lines and deadly precision. At 34, he'd built an empire that straddled the line between legitimate business and the kind of power that made politicians nervous. And for 2 years, Amara had pretended not to notice the way those eyes followed her when he thought she wasn't looking. You're different from the others, he said suddenly. Amara paused, spray bottle suspended midair. Sir? The other maids. They're terrified. You're not.
She should be.
She knew what he was, what he did. But Amara had survived Detroit's worst neighborhoods, survived a marriage to a man whose fists spoke louder than his words, survived crossing an ocean with nothing but a suitcase and a desperate need to become someone new. A man in an expensive suit didn't scare her anymore. Fear doesn't clean windows, Mr. Kong, she said simply. She heard him exhale, almost a laugh. Almost. What's your story, Amara Bennett? It was the first personal question he'd asked in 2 years. She should deflect. Instead, she said, Everyone in Seoul has a story, sir. Mine's not very interesting. I doubt that. He stood, moving with that predatory grace that made him so dangerous. American. No family that visits. No friends that I've seen. You work 7 days a week and live in staff quarters the size of a closet. You're either running from something or hiding from someone. Too observant. That was the problem with intelligent men, they notice things. Maybe I just like cleaning, she said. Nobody likes cleaning my penthouse at 2 a.m. after I've had business meetings. Business meetings. That's what he called them when men arrived bleeding and left in body bags. Amara turned to face him fully, breaking her own rule. You pay triple the market rate and ask no questions about work visas. I'd clean the devil's house for that deal. Their eyes met.
Held.
Something crackled in the air between them, something that had been building for 2 years of careful distance and professional boundaries. Something dangerous. Jaewon's phone buzzed, shattering the moment. He glanced at it, and his expression went cold. I need to go out. Don't wait up. He was gone before she could respond, leaving only the scent of his cologne and the memory of his eyes on her skin. Amara returned to the windows, but her hands were shaking. Friday evening, Amara was polishing silverware in the kitchen when Jaewon came home early. Unusual. He was always out on Friday nights, meeting with associates, closing deals, doing whatever dark business kept his empire running. Mr. Kong, she acknowledged, not looking up from the fork in her hand. He poured himself 3 fingers of bourbon, drank it in one swallow, poured another. Also unusual. Rough day, sir. Someone tried to kill me. He said it casually, like someone else might say they'd had traffic. 3rd attempt this month. They're getting bolder. Amara's hand stilled. Are you hurt? Why? His eyes locked on hers. Would you care if I was? It was a test. Everything with Jaewon was a test. Blood is difficult to get out of white marble, she said. I'd prefer you not bleed on the floor. His laugh was sharp and genuine, practical as always. He moved closer, and she caught the scent beneath the bourbon, gunpowder and adrenaline. He'd been in a firefight. Recently. You should take tomorrow off, he said. I'm hosting a gathering. It won't be appropriate for you to be here. A gathering. That meant dangerous men with dangerous agendas. The kind of night that ended with her scrubbing blood out of carpets and pretending she'd seen nothing. This was her opening. The perfect moment to mention her plans. Actually, sir, I was going to request tomorrow evening off anyway. She set down the silverware. I won't be here Saturday night. I have plans. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Jaewon set his glass down with controlled precision. Plans. Yes, sir. Personal plans. Cancel them. Amara blinked. Excuse me? I said cancel them. His voice was soft.
Deadly.
I need you here tomorrow night. With respect, Mr. Kong, my contract specifies 1 day off per week. I haven't taken a Saturday off in 6 months. I'm entitled. I don't care what you're entitled to. He moved into her space, backing her against the counter. Not touching her, but close enough that she could feel the heat radiating from his body. Cancel.
Your
plans. Amara's temper flared. She'd escaped one controlling man. She wouldn't submit to another, billionaire or not.
No.
The word hung between them like a gunshot. Jaewon's eyes widened fractionally, the only sign of his shock. Nobody told him no. Not his associates, not his enemies, certainly not his staff. What did you say? I said no, Mr. Kong. I have a date tomorrow night and I'm going.
A date.
She watched the words hit him like bullets. Watched something feral and possessive flash across his face before he could control it. A date, he repeated, his voice dangerously quiet. With whom? That's not appropriate. With whom, Amara? The use of her first name sent electricity down her spine. He never used her first name. His name is David. He's a teacher at an international school. We met at a coffee shop 3 weeks ago, and he's been very patient about my schedule. I'm not canceling on him again. Again? Jaewon's jaw clenched. How many times have you been out with this teacher? That's none of your business. Everything in my house is my business. I'm not in your house on Saturday nights, Mr. Kong. What I do on my own time. You don't have your own time. His hand slammed on the counter beside her head, caging her in. You belong to me. The words reverberated through the kitchen, through her body. Amara met his eyes, refusing to be intimidated. I'm your employee, not your property. You don't own me. Don't I? He leaned closer, his breath hot against her cheek. I know what you are, Amara. I know you're here illegally. I know your visa expired 18 months ago. I know you're hiding from an ex-husband who's very interested in finding you. One phone call, and I could have you deported. Or I could make sure your ex knows exactly where you are. Fear iced down her spine, but she didn't let it show. Is that a threat, Mr. Kong? It's a statement of fact. But there was something desperate beneath the words. Something that sounded almost like panic. You're not going on this date. Why? She pushed back, anger overriding caution. Why do you possibly care if I go out with a nice, normal man who wants to take me to dinner and actually treats me like a human being instead of invisible furniture? Because he stopped. His control was fracturing, and she could see him fighting to maintain it. Because you're not invisible. Then what am I? The question hung in the air between them, loaded with 2 years of tension and unspoken truths. Jaewon's eyes dropped to her lips. You're mine. Amara's heart was racing, but she kept her voice steady. I'm not yours, Mr. Kong. I clean your house. That's all. Is it? His other hand came up to the counter, fully caging her in. Is that all you do? Clean and disappear into your room and pretend you don't feel this thing between us. There is no thing. Liar. The word was almost gentle. You feel it every time I walk into a room. Every time our hands accidentally touch. Every time you think I'm not watching you, but I am. I'm always watching you. Amara's breath caught. That's inappropriate. I know. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. Believe me, I know. Do you think I wanted this? To be obsessed with my maid? To lie awake at night thinking about a woman I can't have. You can have anyone. I don't want anyone. The words exploded out of him. I want you. I've wanted you since the day you walked into my penthouse and didn't flinch when you saw the blood on my shirt. Since the day you looked at me like I was just a man, not a monster. Since you started leaving my coffee exactly how I like it without me ever telling you. Since you reorganized my library by author instead of color because you knew I'd actually read the books. Amara stared at him. You noticed that? I notice everything about you. His voice dropped to a whisper. The way you hum when you think you're alone. The way you read my books when you think I'm not home. You always put them back, but you fold the corner of the page you stopped on. The way you flinch when I raise my voice, even though you pretend to be fearless. The way you've been smiling more these past 3 weeks, and I knew it was because of him. Jaewon. His first name slipped out before she could stop it. He closed his eyes like she'd struck him. Say it again. This is wrong. You're my employer. You're a criminal? He opened his eyes, and she saw pain there. Raw and real. A killer? A monster who's built an empire on blood and fear? I know what I am, Amara. I've never pretended to be anything else. But with you, I wanted to be. For 2 years, I've wanted to be worthy of the way you look at me when you think I'm not paying attention. How do I look at you? Like maybe I could be more than this. He gestured around the penthouse at the luxury built on violence. Like maybe there's something in me worth saving. Amara's defenses were crumbling. Why are you telling me this now? Because the thought of you with him, with anyone, is driving me insane. His hand moved from the counter to her face, cupping her cheek with surprising gentleness. Because I can't let you walk out that door tomorrow night and into another man's arms without you knowing the truth. What truth? That I'm in love with you. Stop. Just stop for a second. Did you feel that? A billionaire crime lord on his knees, confessing love to the woman he's not supposed to want. If your chest isn't tight right now, if you're not holding your breath wondering what she'll say, then I don't know what to tell you. This is the moment.
The point of no return.
And here's what kills me. Most people watching this won't subscribe. They'll take this emotional gut punch, feel everything I'm making them feel, and walk away like they weren't just emotionally destroyed by fictional characters. Don't be that person. Don't be someone who experiences something this raw and pretends it didn't touch you. Hit subscribe. Because if you're willing to watch a man dismantle his own pride for love, you can click a button to make sure you don't miss the next time I break your heart like this. The confession fell from his lips like a prayer. That I've been in love with you for so long I can't remember when it started. That every time you leave this penthouse, I'm terrified you won't come back. That the only reason I haven't touched you is because I know that I don't deserve you. Amara's eyes burned with unshed tears. You don't love me.
You don't even know me.
I know you better than anyone. His thumb traced her cheekbone. I know you're strong enough to survive things that would destroy most people. I know you're kind even though the world has given you every reason not to be. I know you're brilliant and stubborn, and you have a scar on your left shoulder from where he burned you with a cigarette. She gasped. She'd never told anyone about that. The scar was always hidden beneath her uniform. I know, he continued, because I've seen you. Really seen you. Not the maid who cleans my house. You. The woman who deserves so much more than I could ever give her. Then why are you asking me to stay? Because I'm a selfish bastard who can't let you go. His forehead dropped to hers. Because even though I know you deserve better, deserve that teacher with his normal life and his clean hands, I can't watch you walk away. Not without fighting for you. Amara's hands came up to his chest, but she didn't push him away.
Couldn't.
You can't fight for me, J1.
You don't own me.
You can't control me. I know. His voice broke on the words. And it's killing me. But I'm asking, not demanding. Not threatening. Asking. Please don't go to him tomorrow. Give me a chance. One chance to prove that what I feel is real. And if I say no... Pain flashed across his face. Then I'll respect your choice. I'll give you a glowing recommendation and enough money to start over anywhere you want. Away from me. Away from your ex, completely free. You'd let me go? If that's what you truly wanted? He pulled back slightly, meeting her eyes.
Yes.
Because that's what you do when you love someone. You let them choose. Amara's mind was reeling. This was Jaewon Kang, a man who controlled everything, who answered to no one, who took what he wanted without apology. And he was offering her freedom. It should be an easy choice. David was safe. Normal. He'd never killed anyone, never made her clean up evidence of crimes, never looked at her like she was simultaneously his salvation and his damnation. But he'd also never looked at her the way Jaewon was looking at her now, like she was the only thing in the world that mattered. I need to think, she whispered. Jaewon nodded, stepping back and giving her space. The loss of his warmth felt like grief. Take all the time you need. I'm going to my room. Amara? She turned at the door. Whatever you decide, know this. You've already changed me. You made me want to be better. That gift, that hope, even if you walk away, I'll carry it with me. Thank you for that. She fled to her tiny room, her heart thundering in her chest. Her phone buzzed. David, still on for tomorrow? I found this great Italian place in Itaewon. Can't wait to finally have a real date with you.
Sweet.
Uncomplicated. Safe. She looked around her room. Barely bigger than a closet, but it was hers. Jaewon had never entered it, never violated her space. Despite all his power, he'd respected this boundary. Amara pulled out her journal, the one place she was honest with herself. She flipped through entries from the past 2 years. Month 3. Mr. Kang actually smiled today. It transformed his whole face. I forgot to breathe. Month 7. He fired a man for speaking disrespectfully to me. I should be scared of his violence. Why am I not scared? Month 12. He thinks I don't notice, but he always positions himself between me and danger when his associates visit. Like he's protecting me. Month 18. I'm falling for a man I can never have. A man who lives in darkness. God help me. She'd been lying to herself, too. Amara grabbed her phone and texted David. I'm so sorry, but I can't make it tomorrow. You're a wonderful man, but I'm not in a place where I can give you what you deserve. I hope you find someone who can. Then she texted her friend Michelle, the only person in Seoul who knew her real situation. I need advice.
Can you call?
Michelle called within seconds. What happened? He told me he loves me. Who? Oh shit. The boss.
Yeah.
The one you've been low-key obsessed with for 2 years? I'm not obsessed. Girl, you describe what he has for breakfast in detail. You're obsessed. What did you say? Nothing yet. He gave me a choice. Him or freedom. Michelle was quiet for a moment. That's actually healthy? For a billionaire criminal? I know. It's messing with my head. Do you love him? The question hung in the air.
Did she?
She loved the way he remembered. She didn't like cilantro. The way he'd secretly paid for her mother's medical bills when Amara had been frantically calling American hospitals. The way he read classical literature and listened to jazz and sometimes, late at night, played piano like he was exorcising demons. She loved the man. He was beneath the monster. And maybe, just maybe, she could love the monster, too. Yes, she whispered. God help me, yes. Then you know what you have to do. Saturday morning, Amara found Jaewon in his study. He looked like he hadn't slept, still wearing yesterday's shirt, a glass of bourbon within reach despite the early hour. You're still here, he said, and she heard the relief in his voice. We need to talk. He straightened, bracing himself. Of course. Amara sat across from him, channeling every ounce of strength she had. I canceled my date. Hope flared in his eyes. Amara. I'm not finished. She held up a hand. I canceled my date, but not because you asked me to. I canceled it because I realized I was using David as a shield against feelings I was too scared to face. That wasn't fair to him. And those feelings are complicated. She met his gaze. You're right. I do feel something for you. Something that terrifies me because I swore I'd never again let a man have power over me. And you, Jaewon Kang, are the definition of power. I would never hurt you. You already have power to hurt me. You know my secrets. You know I'm vulnerable. You could destroy my life with one phone call, and we both know it. He flinched. I would never. I know. And she did. But the imbalance exists. You're a billionaire crime lord. I'm an illegal immigrant cleaning your floors. If we do this, if we even try, we need rules. Rules. He leaned forward.
I'm listening.
First, I'm not your maid anymore. You hire someone else. I won't be your employee and your whatever this becomes.
Done.
What else? Second, I need my own space. Not staff quarters. A real apartment. In my name. Somewhere that's mine, where you can't just walk in whenever you want. I'll have my real estate agent.
No.
Her voice was firm. I'll find my own place. You can help with the deposit if you insist, but the lease is in my name. I need to know I can leave if I need to. Pain crossed his face, but he nodded. Understood. Next. Third, you help me get legal status in Korea. Not through marriage or anything that ties me to you legally. Legitimate work visa. I'll get a real job. Build a real life. What kind of job? I was an accountant in the States. Before everything fell apart. I'm good with numbers. Jaewon's expression shifted. You're an accountant and you've been cleaning houses? It's hard to get hired when you can't provide references or proof of citizenship. She shrugged. But you have connections. You can help. I'll make some calls. What else? Fourth, we date. Real dates. Like normal people. You don't show me your criminal empire. You don't involve me in your business. When you're with me, you're just J1. Not the boss. Not the killer. Just a man. That might be difficult. I know who you are. What you do. I've cleaned enough blood to understand your world. But I need parts of us that are clean. Untouched by the violence.
Can you give me that?
He was quiet for a long moment. I can try. That's all I ask. She took a breath. And fifth, most important, you never threaten me again. Not with deportation, not with my ex, not with anything. The moment you use your power against me, we're done. No second chances. J1 stood and crossed to her, kneeling so they were eye to eye. Amara, I apologize for yesterday. I was desperate and scared, and I lashed out. It was unforgivable. I swear on everything I am, I will never threaten you again. You have my word. Your word means something? In my world, it's the only thing that matters. He took her hand. I'll have my lawyer draw up a contract. Everything you've asked for, legally binding. If I break any of these terms, you get a settlement that ensures you'll never need to work again. Protection from your ex. New identity if you want it. Complete freedom. You'd put that in writing? I'd tattoo it on my chest if it would make you trust me. Despite everything, Amara smiled. A contract is fine. Is there anything else? She hesitated. Tell me the truth. Why me? You could have anyone. Models, celebrities, women from your world who understand the life you lead. Why a maid? J1's thumb traced patterns on her palm. Because every other woman I've ever known wanted the power, the money, the status. They looked at me and saw opportunity. You looked at me and saw a man who needed his shirts ironed. You treated me like I was normal when nothing about my life is normal. You made me feel human again. You are human, J1. A complicated, dangerous human, but human nonetheless. He brought her hand to his lips, kissing her knuckles gently. When can I take you on our first date? Monday. After you've hired a new maid, and I've found an apartment. We do this, right? Monday feels like forever. It's 2 days. If you've waited 2 years, you can wait 2 more days. He smiled, that rare, genuine smile that transformed his face. 2 years, 3 months, and 14 days. Amara's breath caught. You've been counting? Since the day you told me my coffee was terrible and proceeded to make me a proper cup. I've been counting every day since. She reached out, cupping his face. For a dangerous man, you're surprisingly romantic. Only for you. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. Their first kiss was gentle.
Tentative.
A promise of things to come. When they pulled apart, J1 rested his forehead against hers. Thank you. For what? For choosing me. For seeing past the monster. I don't see past anything, J1. I see all of you. The good, the bad, the bloody. And I'm choosing you anyway. Even knowing what I am? Especially knowing what you are. She pulled back, meeting his eyes. But I need you to know, I'm not going to fix you. I'm not going to save you. That's not my job. If you want to be better, that's on you. Fair enough. He stood, pulling her up with him. What now?
Now.
Amara glanced around the penthouse. Now I finish out this weekend as your maid. Monday, I become something else entirely. And what's that? She smiled. I guess we'll find out together. You've been here for 40 minutes. 40 minutes of watching a maid negotiate with a mafia boss like she's his equal. Watching a man who kills people for a living agree to therapy because she asked him to. Watching 2 broken people build something beautiful out of trauma and power imbalances. And if you close this video without subscribing, a part of you, the honest part, is going to feel guilty. Because you know you just experienced something rare. You know that most content doesn't make you feel this invested. So here's your moment of choice. Are you someone who takes and gives nothing back? Or are you someone who says, "That moved me and I want to support it"? 2 seconds. That's all I'm asking. Subscribe so the next person scrolling at 2 a.m. gets to feel what you just felt. Be the reason good stories survive. Or don't, and wonder why everything you watch starts feeling empty. Monday morning, Jaewon's lawyer arrived with a stack of documents that made Amara's head spin. Every term she'd requested, legally binding. Plus additions she hadn't thought of, a trust fund in her name, protection details she could activate if her ex appeared, even a clause that required Jaewon to attend therapy to address control issues and trauma responses. "You're going to therapy?" she asked, stunned. He shrugged. "You said you wouldn't fix me, but maybe I should try to fix myself." By noon, she'd signed everything. By 2 p.m., she'd met the new maid, an older Korean woman who looked unimpressed by both the penthouse and its owner. By 5 p.m., she'd found a small but beautiful apartment in Gangnam with a view of the city. "It's perfect," she said as Jaewon helped carry in the few boxes of belongings she had. "It's small. It's mine." He understood, set down the box, and kissed her forehead. "Our reservation is at 7. I'll pick you up at 6:30. "Where are we going?" "You said you wanted normal. I'm taking you to the best normal restaurant in Seoul." He showed up at 6:30 in jeans and a simple black sweater, no suit, no expensive watch. He looked younger, almost nervous. "You clean up nice," Amara teased, wearing a blue dress she'd been saving for a special occasion. "You're beautiful." He said it simply, like it was fact. "You've always been beautiful." Dinner was at a small family-owned restaurant in Hongdae. No private rooms, no special treatment. They sat in a corner booth and ate kimchi jjigae like any other couple. "Tell me something I don't know about you," Amara said. "I wanted to be a pianist before I inherited the family business." "You're serious?" "Dead serious. I even got into a music conservatory. Then my father died, and suddenly I was responsible for an empire I never wanted." He smiled sadly. "I still play sometimes. Late at night when I can't sleep." "I know. I've heard you." His eyes widened. "You have? The walls aren't that thick. You're good, Jaewon. Really good. Will you let me play for you sometime? Properly?" "I'd like that." They talked for hours. About music, books, her life in Detroit, his childhood in Seoul. He told her about the weight of expectations. She told him about the freedom of escaping them. When he drove her home, he walked her to her door, but didn't invite himself in. "Thank you for tonight," he said. "Thank you for being just Jan. Can I see you again? I'd be disappointed if you didn't." He kissed her goodnight, longer this time, deeper, but still controlled. When he pulled away, his eyes were dark with want. "I should go," he said roughly. "Probably a good idea." But neither moved. "Amara?" "Yes. I'm going to court you properly."
Flowers, dates, romance.
"Everything you deserve. But I need you to know, my world is still dangerous. There are people who would hurt you to get to me. I'm hiring security for you, whether you like it or not. I don't need. Please." His hands cupped her face. "Let me protect you. It's the only way I'll sleep at night." She saw the genuine fear in his eyes. "Okay, but discreet security. I won't live in a cage."
Deal.
He kissed her once more and left, and Amara closed the door to her apartment, with a smile on her face. 6 months later, the piano music drifted through the penthouse as Amara let herself in with her key. Jaewon was playing Chopin, lost in the music. She'd started her new job as a financial analyst at a legitimate investment firm Jaewon had connections with, but she'd earned her position on merit, acing every interview. Her visa was being processed. Her ex had signed divorce papers after Jaewon's lawyers made it clear that pursuing Amara would be inadvisable. She was free, truly free. And she'd chosen to spend that freedom with a man who still scared her sometimes, who still came home with blood on his hands occasionally, but who played her Chopin and brought her coffee in bed and looked at her like she was the sun. The music stopped. How long have you been standing there? Long enough. She crossed to the piano, sliding onto the bench beside him. Play something happy. He did, a jazz piece that made her smile. I got a promotion today, she said. Of course you did. You're brilliant. And I've been thinking. His hands stilled on the keys.
About.
Moving in here. Officially. Jaewon turned to face her fully. Are you sure? You fought so hard for your own space. I did. And I'm glad I have it. But I'm ready for this. For us. If you are. If I am. He laughed. Amara, I've been ready since the moment you told me my coffee was terrible. She kissed him, and he pulled her into his lap, the piano forgotten. I love you, she whispered against his lips. All of you, even the parts that are broken. I love you, he replied. Thank you for seeing me,
For choosing me.
for being brave enough to love a monster. You're not a monster, Jaewon. You're just a man who survived the only way he knew how. But maybe together, we can find a better way. Outside, Seoul glittered like scattered diamonds. Inside, a maid who'd become so much more kissed a king who'd learned to kneel. And somewhere in the space between them, two broken people found something whole.
So.
Are you crying? Because I am. And if you felt even a fraction of what I felt writing this, if this story changed something in you, even for a moment, then you understand why I need you to do something. Share this. Not for me. For the person in your life who needs to be reminded that love is worth fighting for. That sacrifice means something. That, even in darkness, we can choose to be light. And if you're not subscribed yet after everything we just went through together, I honestly don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're numb. Maybe you're scared to feel too much. But I hope you come back. Because we're building something here. A place where stories like this live. Where emotions aren't edited out for comfort. Where we remember what it means to be human.
Subscribe.
Turn on notifications. And if you want, leave a comment and tell me. What moment destroyed you? What line will you remember forever? Let's process this together. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Thank you for feeling. And thank you for being here. Until the next story, stay human.